Hey, what's up, you guys? Bring another action figure review to you, and I bit the bullet. I bit the bullet and bought them. This is the DC Essentials, DC Collectibles, Superman, the figure that supposedly was going to refuse to get, but I got him. I bit the bullet and I got him. So, uh, here he is. Let's get into the review. So getting a more close look at him in the box, you see the artwork behind him on the inside. You see the Superman logo at the top. See the DC Essentials at the top. Got that. Close up is Soup in the box. Glass aside, you got the DC Essential Collectibles tag at the top. 20 years. You got the Superman logo at the top. You got all that stuff at the bottom. Got a nice picture, side picture of Soups there. It's nice. Got all that. And you got the back. Beat up, all that. So, without further ado, let's not have any more BSing and get into the review. Let's do it. Alright, so here's first looks of Soups out of the packaging. And he kind of is a nightmare to stand. Actually, my ankle's actually not that bad and not that loose, but this is just ridiculous. I don't know what DC Collectibles was thinking with this. But anyway, let's take a better look at Soups. Let's do that. So here's a better look at Kal-El. And I'm not totally in love with this face sculpt. I don't really know what everybody's talking about with it. His cape looks good, but no yellow S in the back. It aggravates the hell out of me when they do that. Looking under, got his yellow belt there without the painted loops. Everybody makes a big deal about it. I might paint his belt loops. I might do it. I don't know. He comes with no interchangeable hands, just an open and fisted hand, which is ridiculous. Superman should just come with two fisted hands. I don't know why they did that. But the sculpting is really solid. The sculpt work is really good. We'll get into articulation in a little bit, but he looks really good. What a costume, looks really good. I mean, the sculpt in his face is done pretty good. It just doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't look like Superman. It looks more like Superboy than Superman. Got his red trunks there, which I'm not a fan of. I love the New 52 Superman suit, but I've said that about 1 billion times in my videos before. I like how his boots are sculpted, though. It has like this shiny plastic, like this shiny sheen going on. I like that. And that's pretty much about it for the details in his cape. So let's see if I can put him in the flying pose. Okay, so I got him in the flying pose. First, I didn't think I was gonna be able to do it, but that's what's up right there. That's what's up. I'm actually feeling that. I like that. He has a ball hinge in his neck, and you can get him in a sick flying pose. I guess ideally you're supposed to use his open hand for the flying pose, but I just didn't feel like doing that. So, I just pushed his open hand back and just gave him a flying pose with his fist in. Because, most of the time Superman flies with his fist. Every now and then I guess he'll glide with an open hand, but most of the time, he flies with his fist. So I don't know why they decided to give an open hand and a closed fisted hand. I don't know what they were thinking. Or why they didn't give him alternate hands. I don't get that either. So, I mean, my thoughts on the figure, it's all right, I guess. Um, I mean, it's a good figure. Don't get me wrong. I know it's kind of a very divisive figure. I, uh, I mean, there's a lot of things I like about it. Um, I know for you, people who love articulation, I know y'all definitely, you know, that's like the main creme de la creme for y'all folks. But I mean, but me, that's not the main attraction for me. Even though it is cool to get him, like I said, in a flying post like this. Um, I think that's, uh, I think that's really dope. So, you know, this figure has its advantages for a Superman figure. The articulation is great, um, which I'm about to get into in a sec, because I played around with him a little bit off camera. The sculpting is pretty solid. Thankfully, on my figure, like I haven't noticed like any paint defects, anything, not anything that I've really definitely noticed yet. Um, I like the color of the blue in his costume. I really like that. I like how the yellows and the blues, and the red pops, even his cape. I like that. I like seeing the folded sculpt in his cape. I always love seeing that. How Superman wears his cape like that. Um, yeah, I mean, the sculpting is really good, and it's not a bad face sculpt. It's just his complexion to me is kind of off too in his face. I view Superman more. I mean, I know there's like a bazillion artists who draw Superman in different ways, but I kind of feel he kind of has a little too much complexion. I mean, I always see Superman as a white dude, as a straight Caucasian white dude, even though that he is an alien, but still. But anyway, I've rambled on enough, so let's get into articulation and a little bit of size comparisons. Okay, so here we go with articulation. So he looks all the way up, for that flight posing that I love. He has a little bit of tilt, a little bit of attitude. His head can also do the funky chicken. um, and his head does look to left and to the right. I think it does 360, but it feels a little stiff, so I ain't trying to break my figure. Spreads out his arms all the way about that much. Does a full 360 rotation. Upper bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. Full wrist and hinge rotation. And full waist rotation. Even though mine's a little tight, it can go 360, but I ain't forcing it that much. Legs could go out and do the splits all the way about that much. Upper thigh cut, swivel, doubly jointed knees, and boot rotation. Yes, he does have boot rotation, and he has this weird ball jointed foot with a hinge, with ankle pivot, rocking all over the place. So yeah, he has this weird. Yeah, so I don't know what DC Collectibles was thinking with that, but that about wraps up there. Oh no, it doesn't. I'm so sorry. He does have this ab crunch, this very very ratchet ab crunch. So I guess you can really get some really sleek ass flying pose if you want to get jelly with it. But mine is really tight and stiff, so I gotta be careful with that. Might need to heat it up. But that about does it for the articulation on Mr. Kal-El here, Mr. Superman. So let's do a couple of size comparisons, and then I'm out this joint. Here we have him standing next to the new 52 DC Collectibles Superman, and they're in the same scale with each other. And I have him standing next to his bro, my customized Silver Knight Bruce Wayne, and they're about the same height, you know, both 7 inches apiece. And we have him standing next to his Justice League compadre, the Dark Knight himself, Batman. And he is taller than the Silver Knight Batman. The Silver Knight is 6 inches, but for some reason that just feels right to me. I feel that Superman would be taller than Batman. And have him standing next to Catwoman, which they're about the same height. Well, he looks a little slightly taller than her, but I guess her ears. So I'm standing next to Catwoman. And for funs and giggles, got him standing next to Oswald Cobblepot. So there you go with that. And so for my final thoughts on this figure, I think it's a good figure. I think it's a very good Superman figure. You know, I don't have too much problem with it. Actually having it in hand, you know, it's just gonna take me a little while to get used to it. I think actually the top half of his articulation is perfect. And his legs, his articulation, well, mine at least, are pretty much fine. It's not really any looseness or anything, except with those ankle rockers, those ball hinge like ankle rock. Like I don't know what they got going on with that. But the ball hinge in his neck is great for flight poses and all kind of dynamic poses you would want to do with your Superman figure. I mean, you know, it's a solid figure for me. You know, I think it's a win. It's more pros with it than cons. I'm just not overly overjoyed with the head sculpt. I feel he just looks a little too young to be Superman. Like maybe this would be Superman like in his like earlier career, but this doesn't look like the rebirth Superman, you know, like from the comic books. It just, maybe it's me, but he just doesn't look like rebirth Superman to me. So I'm not saying he don't look like Superman. He does. He just, I don't know. I mean, certain angles, I guess, but mostly he looks like Superboy and Superman. But anyway, I've rambled on long enough. So hope you enjoyed this review, guys. Hope you found it informative. Hope y'all all doing good. Spread and show your love if you be so inclined to like this video. But even if you don't, I just thank you for viewing it. Until the next time, guys. See ya. Dan, 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 dan.